Figure 4 Radio.
Lock it in.
Lock it in.
Lock it in. Lock it in.
Lock it in.
Figure 4 Radio.
Hello everyone, welcome to Figure 4 Radio. It's the mastermind Olie Spring. Unfortunately today I'm not joined by Luke O'Mac. He's at home in bed on antibiotics. Instead I am joined by Scott Star Spud.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, very good, thank you. Can I just say that I don't care that Luke's not here because I get to fill his seat. It's brilliant.
That's true. Yeah, Luke's been ill for a few weeks now. He hasn't been able to join us on any podcast, but I'm sure he's going back soon. Today we are talking about TNA. Scott, you are my TNA buddy. You took me to my first. In fact,
we did.
My first ever wrestling show I ever went to
Really?
live
Was TNA?
Was TNA, and that was the very first one.
And we've
that
been
we
every
went to.
year since.
Yeah,
Until next year.
Never say never.
Well,
But,
they haven't
yeah.
announced it yet,
Yeah,
have
that's
they?
true. So we first went to TNA.
Before it was televised.
the last year it was untelevised. And
Yeah.
that, so I'm going to say it
Second
was
year, I think.
No, was it?
I'm sure it was. We've been about 5 or 6 times to the one in London.
The very first time we went was when Jeff Jarrett was still part of Immortal, I think it was. Because all I remember was that there was obviously nothing to do with television on it, so they had to try.
Wasn't.
They had to try and put a storyline through it. And I remember Double J coming out on the Titantron thing, talking about trying to shut the show down or blah 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 blah.
They had a Titantron thing?
There was a video war, wasn't there? And he came out on it. So I'm guessing it must have been January 2011 because it would have been just after Bound for Glory.
Yeah, it could be actually.
You remember 10-10-10?
10-10-10.
Actually,
that was what followed it because everyone was just shouting about 10-10-10.
That's it.
And a letdown.
Because that was when... No, it wasn't a letdown.
It was a letdown.
It was awesome. It was one of the best things I've ever... Like, I'm still talking about it now. I can still remember it now. I can still remember...
because it's just 10-10-10. You have to remember one number.
Well, yeah, with the
and if Di
Dillinger
wasn't about, you would have no idea.
No, but... Still, so that was our first year that we went. It was... I think it was pretty... That was just when Hogan had first kind of gone over there, I think, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, because he wasn't there. Hogan was televised, wasn't he? I'm sure he was. He wouldn't do a house show.
I'm trying to think back.
Hogan on a house show? That
maybe not. But I know that was obviously when Jarrett had just kind of returned heel and joined Immortal, and it was him and Abyss, Bischoff, and all that sort of lot. Well, was it?
No, it wasn't. It was before that.
Was it?
It was before that, definitely. Double J was there, but he wasn't in Immortal or any of that stuff.
I'm just trying to think what it was.
No, you're not. You're Googling who was on the card.
I may be Googling it as we speak.
Nothing like preparing for this, is there?
Well, no, okay, no.
And
but
this is nothing like preparing.
We're not here to talk about the cards that we've seen. But so basically, we've been going to TNA for a long time.
Years.
I have literally never missed an episode of Impact since 2009. I watched it every week. I watched it more than I watched WWE. But recently there's been a decline.
A distinct decline. That was really evident when we went to see them this year, I think. Given how packed it was. That was by far the emptiest TNA taping we've ever been to. And I think that was partly due to NXT taking place in December. Because it was only about a month and a half beforehand. And you know how packed we went to NXT.
Yeah.
It was rammed.
I was so full I couldn't see shit.
And then TNA was like...
I put it more down to the fact that TNA just has lost its buzz.
Yeah, it has lost its buzz. I think that's
basically what we're here to talk about today. Because, as I say, we've seen Hulk Hogan at Wembley. We've seen Kurt Angle get inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Yes, we did.
We've seen Bully Ray. We've seen Sting. We've seen a lot of people.
We have seen a lot of people.
There's been a lot of people on that tour. In theory, we saw Will Ospreay, Big Damo, and Jimmy Havoc there.
Yes, this past year.
But it was. But at the same time, I'm also not sure because this year that we went in January was the first time we weren't sat on the floor. And
it's called ringside. It's called ringside.
Ringside. Sorry, we weren't sat ringside. Mainly because I think I protested after going to NXT Takeover. Literally, I saw
the best card you never saw.
That's it. And this is the thing, and that's why it's always going to be tainted. And my entire view for the entire thing was the guy in front of me's shoulders. I saw nothing. I said there was even that one point.
Brilliant.
There was a point I even resorted to putting my phone on and watching the network feed while I was sat like 20 feet away from the ring because I couldn't see.
That
shit.
was an amazing card. Seriously,
it was. No, I know.
That was the day that Bailey went over for me and was like,
"Oh no, she was well over before."
She was well over, but for me personally, I could have taken her or leave her. But when she was there, and just how she interacted with the crowd, she's really genuine.
I think them, Bailey and American Alpha were just.
Oh, American Alpha was so over.
I've never seen anything like it. But then
that was
all we've been to is TNA, really. But anyway, so it could be down to NXT, but I just think it's the decline of TNA, basically.
Do you think NXT's caused the decline of TNA?
No, I think TNA's caused the decline of TNA, to be honest, because there's always been competition. There's always been Ring of Honor. There's always been WWE. Granted, NXT is kind of, but NXT's been around for a couple of years. Granted, they never toured over here, but they've been around. TNA's been gradually getting worse.
So what for you caused their decline? Because I just think it's... I've got a couple of ideas.
I have a few theories. My first theory is pay-per-views. TNA stopped putting on pay-per-views, and I think pay-per-views are... It's your kind of focus. If WWE didn't have a WrestleMania, didn't have Royal Rumble, didn't have Survivor Series or something, nothing to build up to.
The problem TNA's
why
got
would you make
is
TV?
They don't have a platform to put it on. Now we're all conditioned to paying £10 a month, and we get every pay-per-view, anything else we want. And then TNA does Bound for Glory and charges the Americans, what is it, $54 or something like that? $54. You can get the network for 6 months for about the same sort of price.
That's true. But then at the same time, Ring of Honor don't have their network, do they? Or New Japan?
No, but don't they do pay-per-views? New Japan have pay-per-views on in America now, but it's done slightly differently. I think Jim Ross commentated on one as well.
Definitely does, yeah. But I think the main problem is that there's no focus for TNA to sit down and say, right,
there's no payoff. There's no money shot.
It's just TV. It's just a TV show after TV. It's become and they give away
some of the big main events on TV.
Yeah, that's it. It's like, and therefore, when it gets to Bound for Glory, why would what did you think of Bobby Lashley EC3 from Bound for Glory this year? Just gone.
I didn't like it.
I watched it yesterday. In fact, I fell asleep in it last night, and I watched it this morning over breakfast again.
I think the fact you fell asleep in it ansers what I thought of it.
It just was exactly like you say. It's exactly the same as we've seen on telly.
Mind you, Bobby Lashley's boring.
No, he's doing the best work of his life right now.
He's doing the best work of his life, but unfortunately, he's just not as good as anyone else.
I personally think when they were doing the tapings in New York, I think it was, when EC3 and BobbyLashley had a load of matches.
That's the point. You've seen it. That's so many matches times.
Were brilliant. But like you said, they were for free on TV. I think Cody Rhodes turning up was... Well, obviously not I think, could you imagine... Like, I know we discussed it the other day, like... If he wasn't announced, just how insane that moment would have been.
But then they genuinely, we discussed this, we agree it would have been absolutely mental to get Cody Rhodes out there without him being announced. But they needed to sell pay-per-views, and people want to see Cody Rhodes. So if you don't say he's going to be there... And
I think the biggest annoying thing for me was, as soon as Mike Bennett was back in the ring... bitching about, this is meant to be my time. I'm like, oh, hang on, wait a second, why is he not disappearing? They said, there's not a man in the back. I'm like, fuck's sake, you're just giving it all away. There goes the pop.
But they do that. We were just discussing about... so you've not watched Impact from Sunday.
Not yet.
I know the result, but they give it away. They basically, Bobby Lashley goes, I'm going to take 5 weeks off to go and do Bellator. And then you just sat there going, okay, you're telling us that because you're about to drop the title? And then all of a sudden they've announced the title match, which you've not seen.
Yeah.
Which I'm not going to give away.
Well, there's either one of two, maybe three possibilities of how that can go.
Well, no, it's obvious he's going to lose. He practically said it.
Okay, well, yeah.
And I hate the fact they just announced the results. Because we all know the results are predetermined, but at least let us have that.
Give us a reason to suspend our disbelief.
Put that against Dolph Ziggler and The Miz off the past pay-per-view.
I thought Dolph was...
Everyone thought he was going.
Yeah, because he was... Yeah, everyone's talking about his contract coming to an end and he's leaving.
Exactly. And
I still think he should have gone. I think that was... Yeah.
But the point is, we didn't know. Would we have given a rat's ass if we'd actually known in advance?
Kind of like when we knew John Cena was going to lose to Alberto Del Rio before he went off shooting his thing.
Yeah, it's like that. That's the reason people started to hate The Rock, because he would be back. They would announce that he's just got a major contract, and then he would just fuck off and do his film and expect to come back just as popular.
Yeah, it doesn't happen.
It doesn't work. You can't. People want to believe.
That's true.
An hour a day or whatever it is, they want to believe that it's real. We know it isn't. We don't care. We just get involved with it.
That's true.
And they didn't have that.
But first reason why I think TNA aren't doing as well pay-per-views because they haven't lockdown. Lockdown used to be a very big deal, I think.
And that's given away free on TV.
There you go.
So maybe not pay-per-views, but need to build towards some kind of mega event.
And that's the thing, there never seems to really be a set date, like 10-10-10 was. Lockdown is just sort of, next week. By the way, next week, lockdown. No
build
in
or
3 weeks' time, you and me inside a cage, lethal, none of that. They gave away Lethal Lockdown the week before Bound for Glory. And in fact, to be honest, I didn't even watch the episode because I didn't get the chance to watch that episode before Bound for Glory happened. So I skipped that one. That's probably the first and only one I've skipped in that case. Because they already knew the results from it because they announced it all at Bound for Glory.
I think the other problem is they're taping a month in advance.
Yeah.
And so there's no incentive for people to actually watch the show live.
Right now, one of our old friends, Lee Tomlin, who was there live for the tapings.
He knows the Glory because he stuck a photo online.
That's true, you bastard.
And you thought you could trust Lee.
The worst thing is actually is Bound for Glory happened on the Sunday night. Sunday night in America.
Night, yeah.
We had to get through till Saturday. I immediately knew that me avoiding Facebook was out the window, but that one photo from Lee was the only spoiler I saw, and nobody else gave a shit.
But there were 2 spoilers in it.
That's true.
Not good, Lee.
But if it wasn't for that one photo from Lee, nobody else, no other dirt sheet spoiled it. No fans spoiled it. Nobody talked about it. Nobody talked about it.
That's the point.
This is the thing.
See, I sort of agree with you. They do need to have events. They need to build to something to make people watch.
Yes.
Maybe have some kind of mega special where they put TNA on for 4 hours in America. Well, why not? They do it over here. So,
oh man,
could
you imagine 4 hours of TNA?
But they're still doing those stupid one night only events. Have you ever watched any of them?
I try and I get bored because there's no reason to watch them. There's nothing in it for me.
They're
Random
just there
matches.
because they promised challenge they would do them.
Yeah,
that's it. There's
which
nothing.
Kind of annoys me. It bores me. I mean, in fact, one of my favourite TNA matches, one of my favourite wrestling matches of all time, happened on a one night only pay per view. Joker's Wild Tag Tournament. It was Spud,
you keep talking
Spud
about
and
this.
Bully Ray. I can't remember who they were tagging against. Possibly the Bromans. It doesn't matter. It was such a good. Spud was just the funniest fucker I've ever seen.
But Spud is genuinely one of the best people they've got at the minute.
Yeah,
I think he's
100%,
underutilized, but when you put him in front of that camera, he takes advantage of
fucking
every single little
bit.
He knows when to ham it up. He knows when to get serious. He's just amazing. I'm surprised. I'm genuinely surprised they're not doing more with him at the moment.
I'd put fuck it. Have him beat Lashley.
In fairness, he could beat the current TNA champion and probably has done. And you don't know who it is.
Fuck off! Is that a spoiler?
That's not a spoiler. I didn't say anything. I just said Rockstar Spud could beat it.
Okay.
Him. That's a spoiler.
It's a man. A man is the
Velvet
champion.
Sky showed up and
Jesus with the
Bobby
spoilers.
Lashley.
That would be. I'm sure he would just let her.
Really? You think he wants her on top, or he wants to be on top?
I'd lay down for
you see, I'm going to take your pay-per-view idea, and I'm going to say that I think the real reason they basically spunked all their money up the wall was Hogan and Bischoff.
See, everyone's been talking about that. Happened so long ago.
No, I disagree.
So long ago.
I disagree because when was it hot? Okay, when you had your AJ Styles, your Daniels.
I'm going to come to this as well in a bit.
But they dropped it. I mean, I get the whole point of the six-sided ring.
They fucked up, by the way. They took away the six-sided ring.
Which is a big mistake.
They brought in supermodels instead of female wrestlers.
They basically wanted to make it the 90s again.
Yeah,
and
they
there's a newsflash, isn't
they pushed Scott Hall. They pushed X-Pac. They pushed Kevin Nash.
Nash was already there. I'm going to give him his due. He was already there. He was already pulling his weight. But taking that four-sided ring away was stupid.
Terrible idea.
Because the fans just, if you're sort of flipping through, the biggest share of the audience is the ones who are the casual fan. Yeah, and if they're predisposed to dislike wrestling, they're just going to skip through, it's wrestling, fine. Well, or they're going, is it boxing? They don't know. They see something different. Yeah. It's just a reason for them to tune in and stop for a minute. Just give them a chance to grab them, pull them in.
But I think Hogan and Bischoff, that was too long ago for it to really be...
You see, I disagree because they put people down and held down the talent that they already had. That they took away all the shine and all the pizzazz. It took them too long to come back up.
I'm agreeing with you that they were bad for TNA in the long run, but I don't believe
that they're the reason. But how many years ago was it?
It was a few years ago.
It wasn't that long ago.
In that time, Hogan's gone back to WWE, fucked up WWE, his WWE run with all his
Sting's
stuff.
Gone over there.
Sting, yeah,
that was only last year?
So it's like two
it's
or
only a
3
couple
years.
of years ago. No, it's 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah,
maximum.
That's it. But that's a long. I think that's too long a time for you to say that the reason why TNA
caused them
broke.
the financial problems. I think it's a big factor. Coughing up that money for those two twats.
Yeah, but then as I say, I think that would have been a much more immediate thing if they would have spoiled it.
No, because I think with just having the Hogan name there, I think the backing that Dixie Carter had, or Dipsy Carter, as I like to call her. But Dipsy Carter just got the backing from Panda Energy, and they just put more money in. They're like, we've got Hogan, that's going to bring eyes to the product, which it would. Unfortunately, the eyes that it brought were not the people who were going to pay for pay-per-views, and not the people who are going to go to seats. So the sort of the older people who probably sit at home in their mum's basement, who've never moved out and are about 50. Wishing it was the 80s still again, listening to...
In fact, actually, in a way, when we spoke about NXT could potentially, in a weird way, be responsible. Another reason I was going to say was they've lost so many talented people. So you look at WWE, like AJ Styles, Austin Aries, James Storm was there briefly, Bobby Roode, Eric Young. I mean, there's a lot of people in WWE right now.
It's
that have
insanity
been
that they've lost Eric Young.
Yeah, you spoiled that for me a long time ago. Thank you very much. I think he debuts tonight. I think at the time of recording, he's debuting. Sanity's debuting tonight on NXT.
Spoiler alert!
Yeah,
if you're a bit late, Eric Young is part of Sanity.
But whoa! Part of? Oh no, that's good. No, fine. Leave it at that.
He's part of Sanity.
So there's more that.
There's more than one.
Oh, cool.
Do you not know
cool.
this?
Leave it at that. Shush. Stop there.
Including a UK wrestler.
Stop there. No.
I'm not saying who.
Shush.
I'm not saying who.
Shush. Stop
that gives everybody listening in the UK a reason to go, hang on, UK wrestler debuting, we want to look.
Yeah. Okay, shush.
No worries, Lassie.
No more spoilers. No, I'm not even going to listen.
Right, anyway, don't you think that they've lost all this talent to NXT?
Well, WWE as well, like as
all right, NXT,
just
WWE,
the E as a whole.
But the fact is, they had all this talent,
did nothing with it.
They still couldn't make any money.
True. That is the very big thing. Is the fact
they don't know what they're doing. Dipsy Carter is too busy trying to make it her own personal company, which I guess in many ways it is, but her own personal federation, and not thinking about money. Whereas I think the likes of a Vinnie Mac, he's not going to leave money on the table.
100%.
Look at all the people he's got back. He's got back Hogan. He got back Bret Hart as well, because he knew he could make money from them. He knew the fans wanted to see it. He just put personal things aside, whoosh, off the table. Done. Let's make some money.
Business.
And I think Dipsy doesn't understand that.
Yeah, that's true. But I think they've lost a lot of people they should have held on to. People like Kurt Angle.
He's an exception. He's what I would now call a TNA guy.
I'm glad he left when he did, because he was looking like he had enough. His matches just looked like it was becoming awkward viewing. I didn't want to see him in a ring anymore.
You see, I did.
He couldn't.
There was no one.
He couldn't stand up straight. He was. It looked bad. He looked like he needed a break.
I think Kurt Angle's got a place more like a sort of Brock Lesnar capacity, but actually putting on good matches.
True.
As opposed to 15 suplexes.
Yeah, that's true. But
if Brock's listening, my name's Carl Brand.
Oh man. But also, I mean, you look at like Sting, Bully Ray. They've gone back to WWE.
Yeah, but
Sting I was never fussed about, but Bully Ray was one of the best things ever.
Amazing. He was totally over.
100%. And then WWE they haven't capitalized on it. They came back for a nostalgia run when Bully
came
Ray
back for the money.
Yeah, Bully Ray had a lot to offer.
But Devon's
WWE.
still there apparently. He's doing a backstage development type of role. That's probably what he wanted to do for a while.
No one ever cared about Devon.
No, I agree with you. But the fact is, they've had all this major talent and they still couldn't make money. Why? It's got to go down to a management thing.
That's two things right
and
there.
And that's why I blame Hogan and Bischoff, because they were in a management capacity, spent a stupid amount of money on talent, in inverted commas, because I go, no, look at who they brought in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They on talent, but they got these names in who can't draw anymore.
Yeah.
And they spent a lot of money on it.
When TNA started, Kurt Angle, the Team 3D, Booker T, these were all big names, big deals.
Big names,
Scott
big
Steiner.
deals. Look at Kurt Angle when he was announced. They kept it a secret. When it was announced on the big screen, the crowd went absolutely nuts.
Batshit.
Yeah. You don't get that with Drew Galloway, do you? He's just
And that's
not
that's
interesting.
I mean, I think TNA has potential. Like, I know you're not a fan of Moose, but I was impressed with him at Bound for Glory.
I'm not impressed with him. I think he's
Cody Rhodes.
I think he's out of shape. Put next to Bobby Lashley, he just looks like nothing.
Yes, yeah.
He's got a name because he's a footballer, not because an American footballer, not even proper football. They wear pads for fuck's sake. But no, he's got a name for that, and he's got a name. He's in Ring of Honor, and I think the only reason TNA got him is because WWE were interested, and then lost interest because he's got some kind of criminal record, which I think.
Really?
I don't know if this is right, but I think he. Attacked his wife or something, or
something
like that.
Full of people like that.
But no, because WWE had the same thing with who was that guy? Party Time, Adam Rose.
Yeah,
it was just after that WWE were interested. He was going around the place with I've forgotten the name of the rest of the one I can't stand, so I've forgotten him. It's not Randy Orton. But no, they nearly signed him, but then they got a little bit of bad press, and they kind of stepped away. TNA jumped in. And I think that's the only reason they bought him or got him under contract. And now, because they're spending so much money, they're pushing him without any build. He's straight into the main event picture. Why? What's he done to deserve it?
He's over.
No, he's over because people can go, Moosh.
Yeah, Moosh. That's all it takes. It's a gimmick. It's a gimmick. That's all it takes. I think as well, they've got, like I said, they've got the talent. But they, like you said, I agree, they don't know. Like, right,
they have got some talent.
Aaron Rex, Damian Sandow. I saw a very interesting quote somewhere that WWE will take wrestlers you don't know about. Well, okay, NXT will show you a wrestler you don't know and make you care about them. TNA will take a wrestler you do know
and make you not give a shit.
They'll take a wrestler you do know and make you, he couldn't be any more generic if he tried.
Do you know why? Because they have a cookie cutter mold in TNA. If you've come from the WWE, you go and you do a promo and you go, "Oh, WWE's rubbish. They didn't do anything with me, but I'm here in TNA now." And like, this is also the other thing. They were mid card in WWE. He was. Drew Galloway, mid card. I mean, they were good mid carders.
Yeah.
And then they're in the title picture. Rather, that sort of then puts your title picture to WWE mid card level.
Mid card in WWE equals main event in TNA.
Exactly, and it shouldn't be. They should have to start from the bottom and build their way up.
True. Like EC3.
Like EC3.
Even though he wasn't really
he's the
mid-card.
only WWE reject that I think has made a name for himself.
Yep.
You're just making noises.
No, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to prolong the. I don't like long silence.
The other one is possibly Bram, but I wouldn't say Bram's over yet.
Where's he gone though?
Who, Bram?
Yeah.
He was at Bound for Glory. I don't think he was on the card, but he was there because he was doing interviews and press call.
Okay. Because
but then Bram's never set me on fire. He can be interesting.
His feud with Magnus was good. I think he tried to do some stuff with Rosemary on the videos.
What's happened to that?
They dropped it because they realised it was shit.
No, they didn't drop it. They didn't drop it.
Why not?
It was deleted. Delete. You've got to be careful. By the way, if you are doing the delete hand gesture, please stick a finger out. Stop doing it at a slight angle because you're looking a little bit like you support a certain.
Yeah. Okay, right. The Hardys. Are the Hardys the only reason TNA is still in business right now?
They've made them relevant again. 100% made them relevant again. The best thing about Bound for Glory was the fact that it was part taped, part pre-recorded, and part live.
Yep.
I don't think we're giving away anything by saying that.
No.
And it was cleverly done. It wasn't live, and that I know some people have a problem with that they were changing characters midway through the match. But I liked it. But it was different.
But the changing of the characters, they found a way to make it work. Right? The Lake of Reincarnation.
The Lake of Reincarnation.
I fucking love this idea. Like, one of the best things I've ever seen in TNA was Matt Hardy dunking in injured, dead Jeff Hardy, bringing up the immortal world champion Jeff Hardy. And Matt's like, hell no, I don't want this guy again.
Just baptizes him back to being broken.
Basically says this idea, this period was awful, let's get rid of it. And takes him all the way back. I thought that was brilliant.
I genuinely liked it. It's something different. It's something we've not seen. And there's an interview that I listened to on a Vince Russo podcast with Billy Corgan.
Okay.
And this is before Billy allegedly tried to buy TNA.
Yep.
And he was basically saying that he wanted to spend more money on that, but they were said no. Dipsy said no, it wasn't going to work. And he said he was going to go out to bat with Matt and Jeff, because although they've got careers and reputations, they're at a stage in their career they're not going to throw away their entire career. It's something different.
Yes.
But they're going to try and build on it. And obviously it was a massive success to the point they then did another one super quickly, and I think too quickly, because I don't think that second Delete or Decay wasn't quite there.
It wasn't really a match. It was more a short film. Me and Luke podcasted live about it, and we got to the end and we're like, it was entertaining.
And they're doing something right when the WWE copies them.
Yes,
because one of my biggest criticisms of TNA is that they want to copy the WWE. WWE does something, they have to copy it straight away and trying to rip it off. And you kind of go, look, fuck the WWE. I love the WWE. I like watching it. I'm really entertained by it. Stop trying to be them. You are an indie promotion that just happens to have TV. It's true.
No, I still put TNA as the second biggest wrestling organization in the world.
I wouldn't say in the world, because they don't sell any tickets.
Yeah. Well, for me, in the UK, they're the second biggest. I get that Japan's
in the UK,
probably bigger.
Yeah, if you exclude Japan, you're probably right.
Yeah.
Because they've got a TV deal.
Yeah.
But they're still an indie. They're just an indie that happens to have a TV deal and have some named wrestlers on it. I think that's honestly the truth. I know we were going to move on to this, but this is probably why Billy Corgan's going to buy it.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't want it for TNA. He said categorically he's going to change the name. He hates the name TNA. He thinks it's got stupid sexual connotations, which it does. If you're trying to convince your girlfriend, I'm going to watch some TNA, they're not going to think, oh, wrestling. They're going to think, tits and ass. No, you're not. You're coming with me.
I think I've never called it tits and ass TNA. As soon as I heard TNA, I had nothing attached to that.
But it still has that connotation. I think it's been dragged down so much.
One thing I didn't realize, actually, watching the network, I'm currently now balls deep into the Attitude Era. As it comes to pay-per-views. And one thing I didn't realize was I always knew Test and Albert were a tag team. I didn't know that they were called TNA.
Yes, they were. Did you know
that's
that?
the thing. So even the TNA name isn't original, because it was in WWE first.
It's just, you know what I mean? It's not quite right.
It
just has those connotations. It's not original. I think Billy wants to change the name, which then means that if the WWE get the catalogue, they can have TNA catalogue.
Yeah.
They'll pop it up onto the network, and you can watch whatever you want, or they'll release DVDs, which is what I think everyone expects them to do.
I don't expect to see TNA on the network.
Billy Corgan
ever.
Wrestling, whatever it is, but he's suddenly
BCW.
got global. Yeah, BCW.
BCW.
But then you've got global TV deals, and that's it. That's where the money comes from.
They did try and drop the TNA name. They tried to call it Impact Wrestling.
But they never committed. They never committed to doing it.
I think they realised that TNA, whether they like it or not, is the brand.
Let's look at it this way. Get the F out. WWE managed to go from being panda huggers to a wrestling entertainment company.
I guess, yeah.
A bit of promo, but, commit. Do it. Don't just sort of go, want to change the name.
But then it was already in the news because, WWF and WWE were,
but
it was
still
already
have to
newsworthy
completely
cause.
Rebrand.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the best bits about that is they spent a hell of a lot of money trying to cover up all the WWF logos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then on one of the Star Wars with Samuel L. Jackson, he's there doing his interviews on the extras wearing a WWF, whatever it is, cap. And you're like, brilliant, you didn't cover up that. And that's probably got a bigger audience than some of your pay-per-views.
That's true.
It's true.
So we've got pay-per-views. I think another thing, the Impact Zone. I get that it's cool because I love. Right, Lee put up on Facebook. We just got free tickets to TNA Impact Wrestling,
but it's all free.
Everybody gets it free. I think that's a massive mistake because
I don't think they could draw.
Yeah, but even if you charge a couple of bucks per person, you're just leaving. It's money. It's money. Yeah, but they're not valuing their product, and
that's the problem.
Instead of getting wrestling fans in, they're just getting tourists in that probably don't know shit about wrestling.
Well, going back to Lee, he only went to it because the Hardys were there, and his kid's a massive Hardys fan.
I'm not sure if that. I think they might know who they're Hardys. I don't think they watch TNA regularly.
I don't know. I think they watch it from the network, but I know they're Hardys fans.
Oh, okay. Someone's got to be. Oh! Well, no. To be fair, I've converted.
Brother Nero!
I've converted to his broken brilliance. I'll give him that.
Where was Senor Benjamin? Bound for Glory. Where was Senor Benjamin?
Yeah, well, that's true. The fucking random guy jumping out of the truck, the guy that got raped, the two or three. Tell me you've listened to our podcast when we watched Delete or Decay.
I've listened to it, but I don't think I paid that much attention to it.
Because there was a bit where, as I say, the truck guy's driving down the road and then...
Yeah, it gets kicked out, but I didn't know he was raped. Well, that's news to me. I must have skipped that 3 minutes.
When they drive away and you see his body lying on the floor, his jeans are around his ankles. Explain that. Explain that. And that's the guy that came back and was like, "Hey, I'm gonna fight you!" Like super hick hillbilly mode. Just got thrown into a bush, and then they still stole. They stole his van a second time.
You don't go messing with a country boy.
they did twice, and first time he got raped.
You don't go messing with a country boy. You don't know that, do you?
No.
Oh, no. Hillbilly Jim.
Yeah, I know Hillbilly Jim.
That's his theme tune. You don't go messing with a country boy.
I can't say I would recognise that.
See, they're stealing that gimmick from Hillbilly Jim. TNA can't do anything that's original, even when they're doing Delete or Decay.
So, okay, so the fact that NXT TNA have stolen a lot of their over
Talent.
wrestlers. Yeah. The other thing I think as well is
over,
that
I'd say talented wrestlers.
WWE aren't creating that many, or they haven't done a good job of creating too many stars. The WWE wrestlers that have since left WWE that TNA have then got to fish for haven't been that big a deal. Like you say, like Drew Galloway, like
have they not
Damien
made him
Sandow.
stars? I think Damien Sandow was pretty much a star. Drew Galloway sort of was floundering a little bit.
But that's the thing. But then when you think they haven't created anybody like Team 3D, anyone from the Main Event Mafia, that level of holy fuck, Booker T is in TNA, or oh my god, it's Scott Steiner.
The only people that they've genuinely created, I think, is EC3.
But WWE didn't create him.
No,
I don't think.
the rest. That's what I mean. TNA did.
That's what I'm saying. So
that's the only one. They just happy
that he was
take
talented,
cast-offs.
But WWE haven't had any big name cast-offs because no one really gives a fuck.
Yeah, but they're not going to get rid of big name cast-offs.
Tyrus, no one gave. He wasn't really like, and that's the thing. And
Tyrus, I think they're wasting a lot.
So, and I think because there's 3 hours of Raw, because there's SmackDown, because there's now split brands, because they've got NXT. There's just. They're going to hold on to as many people as possible, and TNA have got less and less people to have.
I mean, that's the other thing. I think a lot of people went to home in TNA because WWE used to have this weight limit where you had to be of a certain weight or above a certain weight to be taken on. I think there's like a couple of exceptions, like Rey Mysterio. Wow. Suddenly they've dropped that, and you've got Sami Zayn showing up, Finn Balor, and they've also dropped that sort of cookie cutter image.
Yeah, finally.
Otherwise, you wouldn't have Kevin Owens there.
Yeah, that's true.
And they've dropped that.
And I guess
now
TNA
look at
never
the talent.
had that. So as I say, TNA just have no chance. They can't pick up the scraps from WWE because the scraps aren't worth having.
No, that's true.
They can't hold on to their best people because TNA because
they're
WWE
not looking after them.
Are buying them up, and
But then look at Bobby Roode. Bobby Roode wasn't paid. I'm sure they were talking. Bobby Roode and Eric Young just weren't being paid.
Wow.
They were behind on pay.
I mean, Eric Young was on fire before he left.
But that's what I mean. If you're not paying people, they're going to leave.
True.
It's common sense. They don't do it. All right, I think a lot of wrestlers do it for the love. There's a big selection of society that does. However, if you're at that level where you can charge the money to do it and put your body at risk, you're going to take the money.
Yeah.
It's true. It's just common sense.
Well, I mean, I like that James Storm went there, realised that it wasn't worth the money, then came back, and
I think he's made the biggest mistake ever with James Storm. Because I really like James Storm. I'm a James Storm fan.
He's got skills.
I'm biased.
He's got skills.
He can hold a crowd.
Yeah.
He can do it. The whole beer money thing was working.
I get that he didn't like the idea of WWE because of the way they worked, and he wanted time with his family and stuff. He didn't want to jump into a full-time schedule, which is fair enough.
That's fair enough.
But it makes me laugh that he then went back and then
he went back and now he doesn't have a career.
Yeah.
And TNA's left with no
money. Okay, so right, let's start to wrap things up. Do you think in a year's time we'll be sitting here still talking about will TNA exist this time next year?
Not in the same form. If everything goes according to plan. The thing we haven't discussed, which we should cover, is the sale of TNA that's been rumoured.
Well, let's look at that.
Apparently,
is it going to happen?
Yes, it will happen because I don't think they can carry on funding the amount of stuff that they're doing without a decent income.
True. Okay,
so the latest thing that we know
sale, is it going
Billy
to go
Corgan's looking to buy it.
Okay,
but Dipsy wasn't willing to let him have a majority share.
This is the annoying thing as well that I've seen so many things saying Vince has bought it. Vince is allegedly buying it. Vince has only bought the tape library. Billy's looking to buy it. I've also seen that Matt Hardy wants to buy TNA.
I think Matt Hardy would if he could.
Do we not think he can?
It depends how much money he's got. Has he got the business acumen to do it? Billy Corgan is a proven kind of business genius in the entertainment world, sort of.
Is he?
Yeah, I mean, look what he's done with Smashing Pumpkins, and he's sort of offset onto that. He's got his own guitars and stuff like that.
That's true.
So he's maximised revenue. That's what they need to do, is maximise revenue.
Yes.
I think, although this sounds really bad, and I know you hate the fact that WWE could have anything that says the words TNA on it, but I actually think them buying the TNA tape library could actually be what's best for business, if you pardon the pun. Because they can take that tape library, and then they can make sure that AJ Styles and all these other people have a massive back catalogue.
True.
And I think Billy Corgan can change the name to BCW, whatever the fuck he wants, and he's got a company that has that. All right, it doesn't have a tape library. That's going to be his downside, but it's got all these contracts, and if he's allowed to, he can take it forward and develop it so that all those people that WWE sort of cast off and kicked to the curb have somewhere to work. And I think with a bit of cleverness and a bit of building, you could actually generate quite a decent product if you stop seeing it as a level to WWE. Start realizing what you are, which is a small company that happens to have a TV contract. It's Ring of Honor, just with overseas broadcasting.
I really don't want to see TNA close, mainly because there's so many people that were that gave it a go in WWE, didn't succeed, but they still want to make their living from this business. You take people like Drew Galloway, like Cody Rhodes.
I see. Cody Rhodes was a success. They didn't want to let him go.
True. Well,
I think he chose.
Maybe. Regardless, but either way. So that if you want to be a wrestler, I wouldn't like the thought of it's WWE or nothing. You're either going to be sleeping on people's floors, driving shit cars, eating minimum food, not having money for yourself, or sell your soul to the devil and be on the road 500 days a year. If I was a wrestler, I would like to know that TNA and companies like that still exist, where you can go, you can be on television, you can build a brand for yourself, you can still have all the fame and fortune that you want, but you don't have to work for Vince McMahon. You don't have to be on the road.
Mr. McMahon.
I think TNA is like, so many people have found, like, it's like, I think I saw it compared in a way to ECW, where old wrestlers would go there to find themselves again. They would go there to rediscover their passion for wrestling. They would go there to enjoy themselves
I think
again.
that's missing. I think I don't think there's much passion in TNA. I don't think it's there.
I think there is.
Genuinely, I think there's a few people taking paychecks and it's just not there.
Maybe. But I think that given the chance, I think the state of the company is having a knock-on effect. But you look like Matt Hardy could never have done the Broken Brilliance thing in WWE.
Granted, he could.
They would never have done that a mile away. I don't think they'd have done things like the Grand Championship.
See, I like that, but that's something different.
I'm still getting you. I'm still not sure what I think of it.
I think it's there. I think they've done this whole cross-title thing
to me,
a little bit too soon.
It makes more sense for Lashley to be the Grand Champion because of the MMA thing. It's designed on MMA, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Which is... It's just done differently. It's something different. If it doesn't... This is the one thing that I think TNA does have for them, which they haven't done until very, very recently. They used to try something different.
Yeah.
And if it didn't work, they'd try something else.
Yeah.
But at least they would try it.
You would see something different. No, 100%.
And they stopped doing that. I genuinely think they destroyed their X Division because when Hogan came in, they decided it was all about the heavyweight title.
The X Division still hasn't recovered.
Built that
because I think everyone's talking about we're putting the X Division back on the map, but I think they need to create characters.
I think DJZ's got that wrapped up,
man.
But I don't think he's got any competition. Who's his competition?
Trevor Lee.
That's it. And I don't rate him. I just don't find him interesting to watch.
But he's a heel. He's not meant to be interesting to watch.
Yeah, but if I'm not interested in watching him, I'm going to press fast forward.
Maybe, yeah. But I just think they need to rebuild characters and put storylines in. But yeah, I genuinely hope and pray that TNA stays around in whatever format, whatever name.
Yeah, it'd be nice for people to have somewhere else to work. I think that's important.
Yeah, I think I would absolutely love to see it stay around because, as I say, I've grown up in the wrestling business watching TNA in that respect. Like when I first started watching TNA, 2009. I think was when I started watching it. So I'm going for 7 years worth of TNA.
But they can't keep stars. That's the problem.
But they keep making new ones.
I don't know if they do.
Main thing. Eli Drake.
Eli Drake is doing his own thing. I grant you, he's doing
okay.
Very,
I mean,
very
DJ's
good.
Easter. The bromans are still always threatening to break through.
They're just threatening though.
Jesse Goddard's though, he's started to wrestle.
Jesse Goddard's is doing really well,
starting to wrestle.
yeah.
He's starting to do springboard moves, and he's starting to do other things other than just lift people above his head, shout, and put a Boston Crab on. He's starting to wrestle.
But I do quite like him. He's doing well.
The Decay, Abyss, and Crazy Steve.
Abyss and Crazy Steve are interesting.
Abyss
is an odd one because he was offered a WWE contract and turned it down.
Good man, I say, because it's not.
But did he turn it down because he didn't think he could get over again?
Regardless, I think that's the thing. Like, it used to be the case of if you're not in WWE, you're nowhere.
Do you want to wrestle at WrestleMania, regardless of what company?
Probably, yeah.
He was offered to be like a monster heel to face Taker.
Yeah.
Before he lost his streak. Surely you would just go, fuck it, I want to perform at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Because that can make your career. He could go back to TNA afterwards. All right, he'd been defeated by Taker, but everyone's been defeated by Taker.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, obviously, we'd have to speak to the big guy himself to know exactly what was going through his head. Chris, if you're listening, reach out. Feel free. just saying. But yeah, no, I genuinely hope they stay around because I do like TNA. I like watching something alternative. I like watching something where it feels like something new could happen, basically.
Yeah, but I still think they're a bit of a way off. Although they've made a few good changes, I just hope they can carry on doing stuff.
I think that's down to Billy Corgan. So hopefully he does.
So do I. I hope he gets.
I hope he gets his teeth sunk in and holds on.
It is best for business. To coin a phrase.
Well, there we go. So fingers crossed, TNA can stay around. I don't think we'll ever see the tape library on the network. They might use it to make highlight videos. But
I doubt. Well, they might do it for content, but I don't think it's going to be.
They don't need they don't need content.
No, because you could have the whole network specials on AJ Styles. Let's face it, he's got 10 years worth.
They'll take the
last DVD release
matches.
The last DVD release from TNA was AJ Styles' back catalogue about 2 weeks after he debuted at the Royal Rumble. That just says they're like, oh, quick, there's a bandwagon, jump!
Yeah.
And I'm pretty certain that they used to do that all the time.
Yeah.
CM Punk, they did the same thing with him. Oh, CM Punk's on telly, let's have a back catalogue.
Yeah.
So I think the WWE could do that and actually do a decent back catalogue with decent production, possibly get the commentary redone, depending on who's doing it.
Maybe.
It's interesting. I can't wait to see what happens. It's exciting times.
That's true. But I just hope and pray they don't just disappear because that would be terrible. But Scott, thank you very much for joining us this week.
Thank you very much for having me.
I was going to say, you don't really you haven't got anything to promote, have you? You're not like a Twitter guy or a...
Do I need to promote stuff?
I don't know.
Do I have to put myself over?
You're going to have to if you don't want to.
I don't need to.
There we go then. Scott's Scott Star Spud. That's all you need. You can check us out, as we say, on the interweb. We are at figure4radio.weebly.com. We're on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Podomatic, TuneIn, Radio app.
If we're not on it, it's not worth subscribing to.
Yeah, sod it. We're everywhere. Twitter, Instagram, at Figure4Radio. Go give us a like, give us a follow. Let us know what you think. But for this week, I've been the Mastermind Olie Spring. I've been joined by Scott Star Spud.
Thank you very much for having me.
And thank you very much for coming along. Fingers crossed next week we'll be back with a healthy Luco Mac.
Or you'll have me again.
Or we'll have Scott back for something or other. But thanks for tuning in to Figure 4 Radio. We'll catch you next time.
Figure 4 Radio.